Hello everyone, welcome for the next session. So we are starting a new series which is designed for NMAT. We have already been doing the CAT series, and now with NMAT also being one of the very important exams that is I think very relevant, and it has its own style, it has its own way of presenting the problems. So we must look at questions which pertain to this specific examination, and cater to uh, the specific you can say approach or mindset, I would say, required for this examination. Right. So we'll be again looking at a mixed set of problems from all the topics, because we are now in the crunch phase now, right? We have uh, done our syllabus, and this is the last lap, right? So therefore we must lap up all the problems. Well, there goes my pun. Okay, so without further ado, I would say let's just get started. All right. Okay, so here we go, people. First question, percentages. Let's see. Let's dive in, I would say. Chandar saves 40% of his income while Dharya saves 20% of his income. If Chandar's expenses are 20% more than those of Dharya, then what is the ratio of the incomes of Chandar and Dharya? Right? Okay, so let's see. So some percentage comparison is done on savings and then on expenses, right? We know income equals expense plus savings. Since percentages are being talked about, so uh, and we are asked to find a ratio, so either we can take some numbers over here or some variables. I think the most important thing is we don't know the ratio of the incomes of Chandra and Dhara, so we must take variables, I guess, in this case. Let's say incomes. So if we take income for the two people respectively as, let's say, 100x and 100y, right? Because they are unrelated quantities, so we must take two independent variables, isn't it? So therefore, with that being said, we can define the further things. So Chandra saves 40% of his income. So how much his expenditure is, right? If he's saving 40%, so he's spending, you can say 60%. So that this becomes 60x, and the remaining of 40x is the savings. For there, it's only 20%. So this is 20y. The rest of 80%, 80y is his expenses, right? There is spending a lot. Okay. So if Chandar's expenses, now the percentage comparison is done between the expenses. Chandar's expenses are 25% more than those of Dharya. So 25% more means 1.25 times, or in fraction that would be 5 by 4, right? So this 60x and this 80y we are comparing over here. So this 60x is therefore equal to 5 by 4 times of 80y, right? So this should give us something. 4 cancels 20 into 5. This is 100y. So therefore, I think that's the answer. What is the ratio of the incomes? Which is the ratio of x is to y, isn't it? So 60x equals 100y, or x by y is 100 by 60. 20 can be cancelled, and we get the simplified ratio as 5 is to 3. So that's your answer, fifth option. Right, Anand Sinha, correct. Very good. Good to see people alert, active. Right. So good. Let's dive in, and let's be quick. Right. The idea is now we are done with mostly what we had to prepare conceptually or theoretically, right? Our learning part is done, and this is like more like the crunch time, the testing phase, and we are testing ourselves on the timing, right? How quick we can get there. Okay, so good. Let's see next one. Ratios. A certain amount of money is divided among A, B, C, D in this ratio 8 is to 4 is to 6 is to 7. The combined share of A and D exceeds the combined share of B and C. Uh, Okay, Anant is asking something very good. I think I would want to respond to that right now. CAT preparation, is it enough for NMAT, especially for quants and LR? Hmm. So, see, have you driven a Maruti Swift? Have you driven a Lamborghini? Have you driven an Alto? Do you know how to drive? Um, what I'm trying to draw over here is an analogy between, you preparing the subjects and then you sitting for an exam. Do you know how to drive? Yeah. Have you driven a Swift? Yeah. Have you driven a Lamborghini? No. Can you drive a Lamborghini? You would say, I would need to see, isn't it? Because you have not yet seen its specific parts, mechanism, गियर शिफ्टिंग कैसे होता है, वाइपर चलाना है तो क्या करना पड़ेगा, कहाँ पर बटन है. ड्राइविंग तो आती है लेकिन लैम्बोर्गिनी नहीं चलाई, तो उसको थोड़ा सा देखना पड़ेगा. तो आपने क्वांट और एलआर के लिए प्रिपेयर कर लिया है, दैट इज यू नो हाउ टू ड्राइव, राइट? You know the pattern of the CAT exam. You have gone through its PYQs, right? Have you gone through the PYQs of NMAT? Have you seen its questions? It's just like your Lamborghini or Ferrari or Maruti or Alto. You know, you might be uncomfortable with Alto, let's say. You might be uncomfortable with Lamborghini because it has its unique way of putting up the things. That's the same thing. I hope I've answered your question, isn't it? You need to go through its style of questions. You need to um, observe its pattern, which specific topic it emphasizes upon, right? What is its style of asking the questions, right? CAT is little bit more intensive, uh, right? Generally in MAT you would say is, let's say, slightly on the lower side in terms of the difficulty level, but when the difficulty level goes down, the speed needs to go up, and you need to be able to answer more questions because everybody is as smart and they all know the same concepts. Now it becomes a speed game, right? So that's the thing, Anand, and everyone. What do you say? I hope you understand, isn't it? So that's what this session is all about. uh, Being familiarized with the style of questions, 5 options, quickly able to answer the questions. CAT, typically you can take 3-4 minutes also for a question, right? It's fine. Not in NMAT, it's a speed game because difficulty level is slightly on the lower side. I won't say it's completely like just like cakewalk. I won't say that. Yeah. So Anand, I hope you have answered your question, right? uh, and everyone, right? So that's what we need to be comfortable with. It's style. Okay, so what I would advise is take in math specific test series, right? uh, that would help a lot, right? You need to train yourself in that new machine. Okay. Okay, so while all I have been saying this, nobody has answered this question, people. What about this one? Okay, so a certain amount of money is divided. Yes, so A and D combined exceeds that of B and C combined by 30,000. So you can say 8467. So you can take A and D as what? Over here it becomes 8x and 7x. So that total becomes 8 plus 7, 15x, right? And what about B and C? So that is 4x and 6x. So that becomes a total of 10x. So this difference of 15x and 10x is 5x. And that difference is 30,000, right? So 5x is therefore 30,000, or therefore x is coming to be nothing but 6,000. And what is the answer therefore? The answer is what is the share of A, which is your 8x. So 8x is your 48. A very simple, routine, plain, vanilla question on ratios, and cannot get simpler than that, right? As soon as you see the ratio, just jump on to take the ratio constant 8x, 4x, 6x, 7x. Just proceed with that, right? All right. Next one, simple and compound interest. Right, let's see. So the difference between the simple interest and the compound interest on a sum of money at 20% per annum, PA means per annum, interest being compounded annually for 2 years is rupees 120. Now I would just give you the direct formula over here. The difference of SI and CA for 2 years is always PR square, where P is the principal and R is the rate of interest expressed as a fraction, right? So if rate of interest is, let's say, 10%, then the small r is your 1 by 10. So this is the direct quick formula for the difference of SI and CI for 2 years for the same principal and same rate of interest. If you don't know this, you should know this, right? So that PR square is 120, where P is what we have to find. R is 20%. So in fraction, that would be 1/5, right? So therefore, P into R, which is 1 by 5, the whole square is 120. So 1 by 5 whole square is 1 by 25. 25 goes there. So P is coming to be 120 times 25, which is 3,000 bucks. Right. Done. Right. Perfect. Next one. So it's a quick fire game. Right. Next one. Mixtures. Okay. So give me the answer. I'll give you a second. Some time to answer. I'm happy to see, people solving with me. Right. That's the whole point of having a live session. Anant is there. Bhavesh is there. Others also. Let me get your answers on this one. Okay, so we are on the time out zone right now. In my mind, the clock that is going on, I think. So I would want to discuss this by now. Yeah. So this has 60% milk, right? So if we take the initial volume as 100, what does that mean? Milk is therefore 60 and the rest of 40 is water. That is the total of 100 initially. So therefore water will evaporate. What percentage of water should be evaporated? Milk content is now 80%, right? So milk is 80%. Milk is not going to go anywhere. Milk is going to stay put, right? Finally, Anand has given answer is 2. Anand, this time, please see. Milk is not going anywhere. Means water is going somewhere. It is evaporating. Means the quantity of milk, which was 60, will continue to remain 60. That 60 is now 80%, or 80% is 4/5 of the total volume. So the 4/5 of the new total volume is 60. So the total volume is what? 60 into 5 by 4, which is 75. So if the total volume is 75, it means that water is now only 15. So water is decreasing from 40 to 15. How much percentage of the water content has evaporated? 25 on 40, which is 5 on 8, which is 62.5%. I hope that makes sense. Please let me know. Do you follow? Let me repeat. Yes, Bhavesh. You are evaporating water. Milk is not going anywhere. Is it going anywhere? No, it is staying back. Milk was 60 out of a total of 100. Milk will continue to remain to 60. Only water will drop or decrease in volume. So the milk, which was initially 60 and hence 60% of the total volume, because the total volume was also 100, is now actually 80%. So this 60 is now 80% or 4/5 of the new total volume. Its percentage has changed, although its quantity has not changed because water has gone away. So 4/5 of the total volume is 60, or total volume is 16 to 5 by 4, which is 75. So therefore, if the total volume has changed from 100 to 75, it means 25 is the decrease in volume of the water. So the water has decreased from 40 to 40 minus 25, which is 15. Hence, the water that has went away in percentage is 25 on 40, or 5 on 8, which is 62.5%. Yes, so uh, glad we learned something, right? Okay, good. Let's keep on learning, people. Still scope to learn. Here we go. Next one. Something on geometry. Okay. Again, let me give you a minute to try this. Okay, so let me start discussing. In case you get the answer, please let me know. In the figure PQR, so we can say, see the figure, it's an octant of a circle. Octant means 1/8 part, right? So what would be the angle over here? The whole of 360 degree, 1/8 of that, which is 45 degree, right? So this is 1/8 of a circle. Central angle is 45 degree, right? So we can see the rectangle ABCD over here. It is given the dimensions are AB is 4 and BC is 12. If BC is 12, then AD is also 12. Looking at triangle PAD, this being a rectangle, makes this angle as 90. And that means PAD triangle becomes a right angled isosceles triangle. So if AD is 12, then the base PA is also 12, because tan 45 degree is 1. So perpendicular is always equal to base in a right angle isosceles triangle. So this is also 12. So that makes my PB to be 12 plus 4, 16, while my BC is 12. Do a small construction, join P to C. Because this PC is the radius of this octant of a circle. Now, therefore, in this right angle triangle PBC, the radius PC is the hypotenuse of the right angle triangle, with 12 and 16 being its sides, which are in the ratio of 3:4. So it's a 3, 4, 5 right angle triangle, which is 4 times, right? 4 times. So 3, 4, 5. So it's actually 12, 16. So 3 into 4, 4 into 4, 5 into 4, 20. So your radius PC becomes 20 centimeters. So that's the crux of the problem, to decode the radius. Okay, so now we can actually come to the question, which is not just asking the radius, but going a step further. If the full circle is completed using the octant, what is the area of the square that can be inscribed in it? So now you have to decode the relation between the the radius of a circle and the side of a square inscribed in it. So if r is the radius of any circle, then for the square inscribed in it, its diagonal is equal to the diameter of the circle. So this, if the side of this square is a, then this diagonal length is root 2a. So your root 2a equals 2r, the diameter of the circle, or your a, the side of the square, is coming to be root 2r. You have obtained your r as 20, so your a becomes root 2r, which is 20 root 2 centimeter. So therefore, final step, your area is a square, which is 20 square into root 2 whole square is 2. So that is 800 centimeter square. Option 3. Well, so right, a little bit. I think you were taking a little bit of a time on that, but I think once you saw it, isn't it quite manageable? Just applying simple right angle triangle geometry, isn't it? So, therefore, we should be thorough with the see in geometry. You know what I would always say is, whenever you feel stuck, always think of doing some extensions, literally joining the dots, right? For example, understanding that okay, I have to find the radius of the circle. That's the main point. So PC should come to your mind, looking at the figure, because there you could easily solve the things. All right. Okay. So next one. Okay, something on equations. No, I'm taking this right away because I want you to also try with me, or try to beat me, I would say. Let's see who solves first. Okay. An ice cream vendor sells two flavors, chocolate and vanilla, priced at 25 and 15 rupees respectively. Okay. Uh, I would go for chocolate. Okay. I would mix them actually. Okay. So one day, a total of 105 ice creams were sold, and 40% of the revenue came by selling the chocolate flavor. How many vanilla ice creams were sold? Simple question. Need to take two variables, x and y. X is the number of, let's say, chocolates sold, and y is the number of vanilla sold. We are asked for the value of y being vanilla. I have taken. Okay, so that is, sum is 105. The second thing is revenue. So revenue is price into number of items sold, right? So the revenue for chocolate is 25x. 25 is the price. So if x chocolate ice creams are sold, 25x. And likewise, the revenue for your vanilla is 15x. So this 40% of the revenue is from chocolate. So this is 40%, and therefore this is 60%. So can I say the ratio is 40% by 60% or 2 by 3? So 25x by 15x equals 40% by 60% or 2 by 3. So I have, I think, got my two equations. One is the sum of the two variables, and one is I'm getting the ratio. This is y, right? So this simplifies to what? 5 cancels. This is 5x by 3y is 2 by 3. And therefore 3 cancels. And yeah, so x by y is 2 by 5. So you need to split your x and y in the ratio of 2 is to 5, right? So 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 into 15 is 105. So multiply these numbers with 15. 15 into 2, this is 30 of them. And 15 into 5, this is 75 of them. So 75 is your answer, because that is the number of vanilla ice creams we are getting. Right. So Anant also solved this. Good, right? Okay. So while you're practicing with me, you are saying that I'm putting up the topic up front. It comes, therefore it the first thing that I mean, I'm helping you in one way because you know the topic up front. When you're doing the exam, the questions don't come with the topic on the top. Okay, I am a question from this topic. So first thing that you have to do is to scan the question, understand its area of top, from where it is coming, and secondly, to filter or scan that question, whether you have to do that or not, right? So therefore, what I'm trying to say is that uh, it is that decision making, whether to accept or reject a question, which will actually go a long way in your success in any exam, right? So let's scan this question. Should we do this? I think we can. Okay. I'll give you a minute. I'll give you a minute. Let's see if you can get this one. You should be able to get this. Yes, I should expect your answer. Okay, I'm giving you time. It's a basic question on modulus. Okay, so I am on the timeout zone by now, people. What happened? Yes. Okay, here we go. So the modulus opens, that, according to its breaking point, right? By breaking point, I mean that the function fx equals mod of ax minus b has its breaking point at x equals b by a. Okay. Both are correct. Thank you, Bhavesh. Thank you, and finally, yeah, correct. Thank you. Right, so at x equal to b by a, the modulus term ax minus b becomes 0. Right, so the modulus function mod of ax minus b is defined as ax minus b when x is greater than equal to b by a, or else the negative of that, which is b minus ax when x is less than of b by a. Right, so therefore this modulus will open according to its range. For x less than 5 by 2, because that is the breaking point of this modulus term, we will get the equation that, okay, for negative, for less than 5 by 2, we'll get the negative sign. So 5 minus 2x, right, that becomes equal to 3x minus 7 for x less than 5 by 2. So we are getting 2 plus 3, 5x equals 5 plus 7, or which is 12, or we're getting x as 12 by 5. 12 by 5 is 2.4. 2.4 is just a shade below your boundary, which is 5 by 2. So this is an acceptable value, and that is the solution. So therefore x lies between 2 to 3, right? We do not need to check for x more than 5 by 2 because we have already got our answer, right? Perfect. So it's a basic one, how the modulus term opens up, right? Uh, and always you need to ensure that the solution that you get at the end of opening the modulus term should satisfy the original condition under which the modulus has been opened up. For example, if I open the modulus for, let's say, x more than 5 by 2, then I get the equation that 2x minus 5 equals 3x minus 7, which gives me, well, 3x minus 2x, so x equals 7 minus 5, which is 2. But x equal to 2 is not more than 5 by 2, hence it has to be rejected, so it is not a solution, right? So once you open the modulus, whatever solution you get is only accepted if it satisfies the original criteria, the condition based on which it has been opened, right? So don't forget to do that check. All right, perfect. Next one. Okay. Okay, so again, I'll give you a minute for this one, right? Okay, so I'll give you some head start, right, while you're doing this. So let me start discussing. So obviously, to identify the nature of the roots, it is the discriminant, right, which we need to analyze. We know that if discriminant is more than 0, then we have two distinct and real roots, right? Two distinct and real roots occur if d is greater than 0. If discriminant d is equal to 0, then we have a repeated root, or we say it's a single root, right? And for d less than 0, we have no real roots, right? So therefore we have to analyze the discriminant over here, d being b square minus 4ac. B over here is this 8m plus 8, so take 8 common, 8 into m plus 1 the whole square, b square. Minus 4ac, which is 4 into a is 1, and this is 32m. 8 square is 64 into m plus 1 the whole square. And this is 32 into 4, 128m. You can take 64 common, and what you're left with is m plus 1 whole square. Let me expand that now. This is minus sign. M square plus 2m plus 1, and 2m is there, so minus 2m. So therefore 2m cancels. We are left with 64m square plus 1. 64m square plus 1 is always greater than or equal to 64 because m square is a term which is never negative. So it is always positive. Hence, we have two distinct and real roots. Right, people? Isn't it? So, although we don't know the value of m, but whatever it is, the discriminant is strictly positive, right? It's 64m square plus 1, right? So it's always strictly positive, right? Okay. Don't typecast yourself, Bhavish. I would say, you can say, I need more practice in this topic. I don't uh, make it look like it's a lost battle. Okay. You know the concepts, right? You just need to practice. You just need to expose yourself to problem solving. That's all, right? Okay, so therefore, we will now take a few questions on data sufficiency. NMAT does also ask a few questions on that. So let's go for now data sufficiency. So in data sufficiency, you can see that these are the standard 5 options, right? The questions always have the structure. There's a statement at the top, and then there are the two statements or the two pieces of information numbered as 1 and 2, and using them we have to see that which set of conditions or statements help us to solve the question, right? Okay, so let me do this one for you, and then I'll give you the next one to try. If a and b are, by the way, if you are able to solve, do let me know. Okay, if a and b are positive integers, does their sum equal 100? Interesting. So if a and b are positive integers, does their sum equal 100? Statements are, first statement is 3a equals 2b. Can I say from the first statement, I'm getting the ratio of a is to b being 2 is to 3. 3 is to 3a equals to b. So a by b equals 2 by 3, right? If a ratio b is 2 is to 3, is it possible for a and b their sum to be equal to 100? Given that they are positive integers? Well, yes, quite so, because if this is 2x and if this is 3x, then 2x plus 3x, which is 5x, equals 100. So x equals 20, which means a and b are indeed coming to be positive integers. They are simply 40 and 60. So does a and b add up to 100? It is possible, but not necessarily so. So we are not sure if a and b their sum is 100 or not. It could be, it could not be. So the statement 1 is not sufficient to answer the question. Once again, Anand Sinha, you're getting this wrong this time. Please understand me. I'm repeating myself. If a and b are positive integers, and if 3a equals to b, is it possible for their sum to be equal to 100? Well, yes. A and B are in the ratio of 2 is to 3, right? So they could be 40 and 60. Their sum could be 100. But the only information that we know is that they are in the ratio of 2 is to 3, right? So the values of a and b could be anything. It could be 8 and 12. It could be 2000 and 3000. It could be 80 and 120. It could be 20 and 30. It could be 4 and 6. Is anybody stopping a and b from taking these values? Tell me. So is it necessary? Is it guaranteed? Is it ensured that A and B does equal 100? No. It may be, but it may not be. All that we know is that they are in the ratio of 2 is to 3. Does that guarantee surely that their sum is 100? No. So the statement 1 is not sufficient to answer the question asked. Both yes and no scenarios are possible. So this is not a sufficient statement. Data sufficiency is a different ball game. Try to understand what it is all about. Sufficiency means getting a unique answer. It's a yes no question. So in a yes no question, the sufficiency of a statement is said to be achieved if you are able to definitely say yes or no. When you're in two minds, when both yes and no is possible, you will say not sufficient. So that is a prime example. Over here, first statement is not sufficient. What about the second statement? From the second statement, you're getting the ratio of A is to B as 5 is to 4. Could their sum be 100 if they are in the ratio of 5 is to 4? Can you split 100 in the ratio of 5 is to 4? 5 plus 4 is 9. Does 9 divide 100? Is 100 a multiple of 9? No. So could A and B, their sum, could that be 100? No. No. It can never be. If this is 5y, if this is 4y, then 5y plus 4y is 9y. If 9y is 100, then y is coming to be a fraction, 100 by 9. But A and B cannot be fractions. They are given to be positive integers. So this is not possible. So we are getting a definite no to the answer. Hence, this statement is sufficient to answer the question asked. No, A and B, their sum can never be 100. So answer is option B. Statement 2 alone is sufficient. Making sense? Give me yes or no. Only then I can proceed ahead and give you the next one to try. Right, people? Okay. Next one. Right, so this you will try now. Oh, you should be able to get this one. Yeah, Shubham. I won't really put it like that. Shubham is saying, is it something like inference in judgment? Um, Somewhat, but I would say it's a bit of a different ball game, right? Um, Sufficiency, right? It's more of a maths thing, right? Uh, there it is all about, it's about all about conclusion and reading between the lines kind of thing, right? This is more of clear cut information or statements and analyzing the statements to judge whether the question can be answered or not, right? That's the point. Okay, so yes, I would say at least you should be able to give me some answers over here. Okay. Yes. Option E. Option E. Um, it's A. Uh, okay. Well, so question is very straightforward, point blank, right? Is x more than y? Statement 1, x cube is more than y cube. Well, my maths tells me if x cube is more than y cube, then the inference very much can be drawn that, well, let me prove this, what I'm trying to say. If x cube is more than y cube, then bring y cube on this side, x cube minus y cube is more than 0. Now we know its factorization, x cube minus y cube is x minus y times x square plus xy plus y square is positive. Now you know that x square plus xy plus y square uh, is strictly positive term, right? Because the discriminant of this quadratic is negative. So it's strictly positive. It is always positive. So if this product is positive, then this has to be positive. And if this is positive, it means x minus y is more than 0. It means x is more than y. So this is a very much a inference which can directly be drawn. I'm just proving this mathematically. Otherwise, I could have just said in directly, yeah, so x cube more than y cube always implies x is more than y. So this statement is directly point blank, exactly coming to the conclusion which is asked. Same for second statement. If root x is more than root y, then x has to be more than y. No doubt about that. Root x can only be more than root y if x is more than y. Each statement alone is sufficient. All right, so we are ending with this flavor of data sufficiency. In case you have not seen this before, you need to know that some questions in quant section of NMAT does ask data sufficiency problems. It's a different ball game, right? Your mind, the way it has to respond to these queries, is slightly on the different side because you are doing two separate independent analysis, right? Did not understand. So Shubham, I think I would just suggest first of all that yeah, I'll repeat that, but I would just first of all suggest you that you need to go through data sufficiency as a concept. First of all, I think if you're looking at this question for the first time, that would always be the reaction of any person who has not yet you know been exposed to this kind of questions, right? That's first thing I would suggest you. And for everybody who is feeling that you're not following me, that is quite non-natural. Okay. Secondly, coming to this question. So my explanation is just two-liner. Okay. If x cube is more than y cube, always implies x is more than y. Give me any contrary example. Is it possible that x cube is more than y cube, but x is not more than y? If you can give me some counter example, I would accept that I am wrong. It's a simple thing. Whenever you see, when you have x square more than y square, it does not imply x is more than y, right? But if you have the odd powers on both the sides, then it always implies, that the variables are directly related. So even if it was x power 5 is more than y power 5, that would also imply x is more than y. But not for even power, that gives you something else. Root x more than root y also very much implies that x has to be more than y for sure. Give me any example which goes against this. If you can prove me wrong. That's it. That's a simple explanation of this question. So each statement alone is sufficient to answer the question. That's all. That is also telling us x is more than y. That is also, the second one is also telling the same. They come to the same conclusion. That's it. Isn't it? Okay, so that brings us to the conclusion of today's session, people. Just to remind you that we are now having our mobile app, so make use of this in as part of your preparation, right? It can help you in many ways. Just explore this if you are habitual of doing online learning. So this was our first session on NMAT, and we are going to have follow-up sessions regularly. So therefore, look out for the next one, right? We'll meet quite regularly. Perhaps maybe at least once a week or sometimes even twice a week. So that we'll keep. And the catch sessions are also always ongoing, right? They are also being taken they are coming at the 1 p.m. time slot. So I hope to see you next time, right? In the next session, both for NMAT and for CAT. And yeah, so all the best, people. This is a crunch time, I know, and I'm trying, my level best to expose you to the relevant and the new style of questions always, right? So that will be always my promise to you, right? Thank you so much. You have been a lovely audience, and I would see you again, right? Ask me a question. Feel free to send me any queries on the chat box. Feel free to reach out to us directly, right? Thank you. Thank you.